For those looking for a review rather than my break, here it is.
It's good, I'd fucking 10 out of 10. It has a girl and shit. That's cool as shit. Fucking cocksucker.
Tea break! Developed by DICE and published by EA, it's a title that is touted as a first-person parkour platformer. Or some bollocks like that. This is a surprisingly risky jump into unexplored territory, and really was out left field for a publisher like EA. Did it work? Let's take a break with it and see how it goes. This is a setting I'd love to bang. A lot. The use of white and sharp primary colours gives the game a lot of character and polish. Graphical prowess be damned, the aesthetic choices here are truly marvellous. It's simplistic design at its finest, and that's just lovely. Not only that, it most certainly was considered with the gameplay in mind. With various drips of colour, there's a mechanic called runner vision that allows the player to see objects of interest to guide them in the right direction. The key colour is always red, and it stands out greatly from the white background. It's a nice guide, and to scale nicely, it lessens its usefulness the longer the game goes on, usually giving you the task of utilising said objects in set orders of parkouring. I don't know the term. Either way, this can be turned off. Last but not least, the music. Oh, the music. It's very atmospheric, to be honest, and isn't so much filled with tracks as it is musical motifs tightly linked together with fluid transitions. It is there to complement the game once more, and it really works, with airy and free synths to damp and sneaky drums accompanying the darker areas. There's certainly a focus on atmospheric noise rather than memorable tunes, which I can dig, and it all kicks into chase scenes, with muted guitars and rising electronic stings that only accentuate the bass music of each level. It's seamless, wonderful, and organic, which very much suits the game's theme and feel. These may not be tracks fit for an MP3 player, but they are certainly fit for this game. Being a first-person parkour platformer game... Oh, hang on a sec, let me just... Alright, it's not far-fetched to think the game may control strange, but from my experience with a lovely keyboard and mouse, it was sublime. Turns felt tight and responsive. Movement was swift and organic. Leaps were, well, thrilling. There was a surprising sense of weight and gravity, and from the gradual acceleration of running to leaps of... faith. This game really got down the feeling of being a runner, and I can safely say the inclusion of limbs within your field of view was welcome, even if hacking shows some horrors. Not to mention how simple it all was. The controls could almost be split into ascension, descension, and rotation. So for me, there was the spacebar, shift, and Q, but these are rebindable in any case. It was very easy to move fluidly through the environments with such a small amount of buttons, and I feel this simplistic approach actually proved to work rather well. The bad moments came more towards the combat. Faith is able to either counter enemies with a right click when their weapons glow red, or hit them a few times with a mashing of the left click. First off, mashing is boring. Second of all, the response time is just off. You think a point about combat is minor in your first-person parkour platformer, fucking Christ. Most of the time, running away is the best option, and I would be okay heralding the clunky combat as a way of telling the player to not engage. However, there are moments where you have to clear the area, and you must engage. They really could have solved this issue if these sections weren't mandatory. It should have looked to its parkour, as the game did anyway, to scale its difficulty. Hang on. Oh wait, shit! Okay, aside from the clunky combat, the game is quite light on you, at least in the main campaign. For some, even usually for me, this is a detriment to the experience. However, I feel it suits the game well. There are still some challenging chase scenes and puzzle-like elements, but overall it's delightful to just enjoy the controls and feeling of freedom the game invokes. When enemies appear, you do get tense. I just wish it didn't rely on its clunky combat as a means to progress, but rather a tool to heighten this tension. Because sometimes it's good to have a game that gives the player escapism, and this theme is pervasive throughout the whole game. But then, above all that, we have the challenge maps. These guys are usually time trials with checkpoints, and it really pushes the mechanics to their limits. You have to utilize any small trick you find to cut off those times and move ever forward, and it's here that many people wanting a challenge will get their fix. I really feel it complements the simple yet effective control scheme the game employs, and I found a lot of fun from this. I had a great time with Mirror's Edge. The lovely controls, the great theming of freedom, it comes together to be quite the releasing experience. And though I'm sure replaying will inevitably cause levels to become too easy, I can safely say I want more, and really look forward to Mirror's Edge 2 and what it has to offer. I've been Strekks. See ya, something.